Guys, welcome to another episode of hashtag #LiveLeanTV. This one was very funny, it was exciting, lots of good questions. Keep watching. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of
hashtag #LiveLeanTV.
This is the show where you guys ask your questions on social media. We're on episode 49. We're almost at 50.
We're so excited to hit that milestone.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to get your questions asked on the show, you have to ask them using the hashtag #LiveLeanTV, and then you post it on social media. So you can do it on Twitter, right here. You can send it to us there, tag us, Snapchat, over on Instagram, and over on Facebook.
And we like all kinds of questions. Doesn't have to be fitness related, but it's a fitness channel, so, you know, most questions are fitnessy.
And I want to give a big shout out to everybody who joined over on Instagram. Based off of the last episode, we saw a big surge in our Instagram followers, so we post a lot of cool things over there that you guys don't see here on YouTube. So it's like exclusive stuff that only like Instagram people get. And we're really putting a push on to get more people over to that Instagram channel. We do Instagram stories, we do Instagram videos, Instagram photos, all kinds of things over there. So if you're not following us over on Instagram yet, you can follow me right here, and you can follow Jessica right here, and then you can follow LiveLeanTV. We have our own LiveLeanTV channel right here. So those links
even
will be
Baby Kai has
down.
her own Insta
Yeah.
account.
Let's put Baby Kai's like right, bam, right here. Kyla Guthrie has
If
her
you're
own.
interested in the life of our 7-month-old baby.
And so yeah, let's jump right into the show. Okay, first question on Twitter from at Tetyana K. And this is a 3-part question. So first one is, can you clarify what it means eating at a deficit for weight loss? So if basic daily calorie expenditure is 1,350 calories, part 2 of that question is, she works out 5 times a week, is an active female, 135 pounds. So if you burn 300 calories working out, how many calories to eat with a 300 to 400 calorie deficit for weight loss?
Wait, how many calories to eat with a 300?
Yeah, so 400? If she wants a 300 calorie deficit for weight loss.
So how do you figure that out with with that amount of exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, here's the way I figure out calories for myself and for my clients and what works for me. I don't count like daily calorie burn like as an amount. I just use an activity factor, which is like a multiplier. So instead of, because your calorie burn is going to fluctuate from day to day. Some days you'll burn more, some days you'll burn less. It depends on the workout. It depends on a lot of factors. So, there's going to be too many calculations if you do it that way. But what I prefer to do is just calculate based on, are you generally lightly active, moderately active, or very active? So it's easier for me that way. I would just take your basal metabolic rate, multiply by the activity factor that is most suitable to you. I think for most people who are using our programs or following our advice, they're in the moderately active category.
Well, she says she works out 5 times a week.
Yeah, exactly. So 5 times a week and you're active, I would put you as a moderately active category. So that means you multiply your basal metabolic rate times 1.5. And that should give you a good estimate of how many calories you need to maintain your current weight. Now, if you wanted to be in a deficit to lose weight, then you could subtract 300 from that number.
So I have a video on how to calculate your calories too, which kind of takes you through all those calculations. So we can link that video up
instructions
down below. But yeah, you said if your basic daily calorie expenditure is 1,350. So if we just use 1,350,
she's saying that's her basal metabolic rate. I
well,
guess.
she says that's her daily calorie expenditure. So
probably based on a fitness tracker.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's hard to believe that you'd be 1,350 if you work out 5 times a week, because that seems pretty low
to me, unless you're a really small girl.
Yeah, so I think your numbers may be off a little bit. If you're training 5 days a week and your workouts are good, and you say you're pretty active, you should be burning more than 1,350 calories. So it's kind of hard.
An adult, full-size woman.
So it's kind of hard for us to answer that question, but figure out what, just based on that calculation that Jess said, and then just subtract 300 from it, and that would give you a safe weight loss calorie goal.
One thing I want to really emphasize about a calorie deficit for you guys is that a deficit should not be a permanent part of your diet. A deficit is until you lose weight, and then you go on your maintenance calories. So all of you, if you're happy with the current weight that you have, you should be eating at your maintenance calories, which is your basal metabolic rate times the activity factor that most describes your actual lifestyle. So if your activity changes, your calories change, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of fluctuation with your calories, and you shouldn't live in a deficit for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so let me also throw this out to you that if you, because this has happened before, people have got back to me, and I think I talked about this on the last episode. If you do like a fat loss cut, and then you're like, okay, I want to build muscle now, like I don't want to go maintenance, figure out the reverse dieting thing like Jessica did a video on. Like, don't just be like, okay, I'm going to go 1,300 calories for my fat loss, and then, okay, I've reached my fat loss, now I'm going to bump up to 2,800. You can't just like, your metabolism's just going to be like a little bit like, what the F is going on here? And you'll be in like fat storage mode and everything. So just be smart with this, guys. Like, just, and if you have other further questions to this, you can follow up with us in the comments down below. Okay, next question.
Okay, so Felix Arangaleno says, is it okay to eat raw eggs?
All Rocky up here.
Going Rocky style. I love it, bro. That's like hardcore if you want to eat raw eggs. Like, you don't even have time to cook those things.
Just give me the calories. Get it in however you can. I wouldn't recommend eating whole raw eggs. I've talked about it on the vlog before, like when you get the pasteurized egg whites, and when I say pasteurized, it means like it's already been kind of heated
for bacteria,
and the bacteria has been somewhat removed. That's a safer approach. So sometimes I add egg whites, just the liquid egg whites, to my shake, and I'll drink it that way. But whole eggs,
it's a little bit risky bacteria-wise.
Yeah, you probably can get away with it, but we're not advocating for you to do that. And honestly, man,
I don't recommend it.
Eggs are delicious when you cook them. So like, why would you eat them raw? And eggs taste like 2 minutes to cook.
Yeah, they're super fast to cook. And you can cook them ahead of time and then eat them hard-boiled, or you can scramble them. There's a million different egg recipes. We have a huge database of egg recipes in our Team LiveLean group, and I know, Felix, that you are a team member, so you have access to all of those egg recipes. So go crazy cooking them different ways. But, I mean, unless you had a really specific need for why you would need to eat them raw, I would advise against it, unless they're like farm fresh and you know that they haven't been sitting out, and the temperature has been controlled and everything. Oh, Brew wants to say hi.
Brew's like, I'm a dog and I don't even eat raw eggs. Actually, no, he does eat raw eggs.
He has had a few raw eggs.
He does eat raw eggs.
He loves raw egg yolk. He's all about it. But
All right, next question on YouTube from Regine FA says, love this episode. Thanks for sharing about yourself, Jessica.
Aww.
I'm diabetic from the Philippines, and I love the way you guys eat because it kind of fits into the diet my doctors recommend. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions on how to make sweet potatoes more tasty? I only steam it now, and I don't have an oven to roast it.
Oh, no oven. Oh, that's sad. Okay, well, do you have a stove top? I wish we could ask questions directly to you right now. So I wonder how she's cooking. She has the ability to steam, so obviously you have a stove top. You could make sweet potato hash browns. There's a recipe for that in our Team LiveLean site as well. What are other ideas? Well, the sweet potato pasta is really good.
Yeah, you can boil it, make pasta, just slice it really thinly.
Yeah,
make
if you
pasta.
use a carrot slicer, you can kind of shred it, and it makes noodle type shapes.
And honestly, a lot of things with sweet potatoes is the spices that you add to it. So add salt and pepper to it. Add
cinnamon, lemon
garlic,
juice,
cinnamon,
herbs.
We actually have a bunch of recipes, I think, on our YouTube channel here. So if you just go to our YouTube channel, or you're already on it right now, after you finish watching, just click the little magnifying glass that you'll see, and then you can search our videos and just put sweet potatoes in there, and you're going to find a lot. Or you just go over to our website, LiveLeanTV.com, and we have all kinds of recipes over there for you guys as well.
Oh, if you have a toaster, you could make sweet potato toast or sweet potato burger buns, like we have in our LiveLean 20 diet cookbook. We have a burger recipe that has 2 pieces of sweet potato as the bun, and that we do in the toaster. So kind of depends on what kitchen equipment you have, but there's so many options. So just search our site. Okay, Chris Bravo on Twitter says, are supplements necessary? If yes, what particular supplements are those? The necessary ones. So
supplements, this is one of those questions where supplements are necessary if you have your workout program on point, you got your training on point, you got your sleep on point. Then it's then it's you need to get that next little bit, you want that extra 5%, then yes, you can get the supplements to help you get there if you're not liking the results that you're getting because, you know,
Or if you just want to go further.
yeah, like a lot of times our diet is depleted in certain nutrients. So like taking a greens powder is what I consider like nutritional insurance. So it's like if we're traveling or if I have an off day eating, when I take a greens powder, it fulfills the needs that I'm probably missing.
I love the point of like nutritional deficiencies because like if there's something missing in your diet, like obviously we're not perfect human beings. We can't all eat perfect meals at every mealtime every day. So there's going to be some days where you didn't get any vegetables in or you didn't get enough healthy fats or something. So that's what supplements are there for, is to like help you fill in the gaps if there's something that you're not eating. I know for like clients of ours who have been vegan or vegetarian, they need to supplement with something to get enough protein or to get vitamin B12 or something like that. So when you have gaps in your diet, supplements are necessary, I think. But as far as like someone who just wants to like build muscle, get lean, lose fat, be energetic and everything, you can accomplish a lot with just food alone. So I don't think of supplements as like really necessary for the average person with average goals. But if you're looking to be like a professional bodybuilder, I would say yes. And it just kind of depends on what your goals are.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Like,
no?
Just because if you don't want to be a professional bodybuilder, it doesn't mean that you don't have to take supplements. Like,
yeah, I mean, it just depends on your goals. Like I said, I mean, a professional bodybuilder is not the only one that needs supplements.
Yeah,
it's
just
are
like
we talking about the average Joe or someone who wants to be far above average, you know?
Well, we want to live an optimal life.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
we take supplements, so.
Like we want to we want to be better. Like we want to be above average. And like you were saying, like sometimes you can't have the perfect diet. Well, it's almost impossible to have the perfect diet because the soils that our food are produced in a lot of times are deficient in the minerals that they used to be back in the day because of all the farming stuff that's going on. So that's where, you know, like I said, like the greens powder comes in, like a multivitamin maybe. I'm more into like the health supplements versus like the fat loss and the muscle burning supplements.
Muscle building, you mean?
Muscle building.
Muscle burning.
Supplements. And then, you know, like a lot of times people don't get enough protein in. So like a protein powder is a cheap and effective way and a simple, quick way to get more protein in.
I recommend protein supplement for all, like literally everybody that I train.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever trained anyone that I haven't recommended a protein powder for.
Yeah. So there you go.
Because it's so hard to fulfill protein.
But it's like you just can't ask us a question like what supplement should I take because we have nothing about you. We don't know like what your blood test.
Chris has asked us so many questions on this show, so we really appreciate your engagement.
But we don't know.
I still feel like I don't know who you are. So.
Like if you wanted to be really on point, like you'd have to go see a doctor to get your blood test to tell where you are deficient in what vitamins, you know, and that sort of thing. Like it will tell you if your testosterone's low. It'll tell you if this is low, and then you can really customize a supplement plan. But you know, unfortunately, we can't get that detailed.
But I feel like we've already given him a few, like whey protein, greens powder. There you go.
Yeah,
that's a couple.
Next question on Snapchat from Saba J says, "Hi Brad and Jess, I've been watching your videos for a few months now and I've learned so much from you. This month I was finally able to buy LiveLean formula for women and I'm so excited to start my journey. My question is about the nutrition guidebook. I know you advise against consuming dairy and oats and I try to stay away from them, but some of the meals in the guide ask for them. Can you please advise what I should use instead, or should I go with oats and quinoa? Thank you. Also, Brad and Jess, this question is from my mom. She doesn't have Snapchat. What's your opinion about Shaun T's fitness programs for fat loss? P.S. She's 55'1" and has 31% body fat.
50 years old, 5'1". Okay. All right. So let's address the first question first, which is about my Formula for Women nutrition guide. I did include things in there like Greek yogurt and oatmeal and quinoa. I believe there's even rice in there too, because this is intended to be like a transitional nutrition plan for people who are used to eating like lots of processed foods. So I find it's really hard for people to go cold turkey from eating tons of like grains and yogurts and things like that to eating zero. So I decided when I was creating this plan to kind of allow some of the things that my clients were asking for the most. I don't know if you guys know this, but when I made this program, it was back when I was living in New York City a couple of years back, and I had 10 women actually go through the program firsthand. So I was interviewing them, asking them, what do you guys want to eat? Like, what do you want to see in this nutrition plan? And, you know, it was just too hard for people to go all vegetables and lean meats and, you know, be super, super clean. So they all wanted to have like a little bit of grain and dairy in their diet. So I made it doable by showing them how to fit their macros with the foods that they love and crave and are used to. So that's kind of why you see in that nutrition program that there are some things that maybe won't be optimal for everyone, but I tried to make it doable for most women and like more gentle, if that makes any sense. So
no,
just to make your transition easier.
That's a good answer.
So what was the question about Sean T?
Oh, question about Sean T was, I think, what do we think of his workouts?
Oh, of his workouts like Insanity? Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for your mom who's age 50, 31% body fat, I think this program is going to be a little too intense, to be honest. I think I actually just did a video for LiveLeanTV Women about women who are over 50 and the recommendations I give for them. I wouldn't recommend a full hour. Is an hour Shanti's program or 30 minutes?
I think it depends.
I wouldn't recommend a full workout of like jumping around and doing high impact exercises for someone who has that much body fat and is at that age range. I would recommend more like, you know, grounded workout.
Yeah, so here's the thing, like a lot of times you guys will snap us questions and things like, what do you think about this drink? Or what do you think about this bar? Or what do you think about this protein bar or workout program? It's like, we don't know because we don't.
I didn't write it.
We do our own programs. Like I keep saying to people, it's like asking Pepsi, what do you think about Coca-Cola's new product? Like we are in the business of creating fitness programs for our viewers and workout programs. So, but I can say that I have done one of Sean T's programs. Like I'm a fan of Sean T's work, but that's like for my style of training. Like if I had any kind of critique about the programs, they're very difficult.
Yeah.
Like very difficult.
I don't think they're intended for beginners.
But maybe he has
maybe
he has one out now that's directed towards them. I don't know, but the one like I've done the Insanity one, and like it had me in sweat.
Yeah.
So depends on that, but honestly, like why not live lean formula for women?
I know, and I just think that
like you guys got to realize we create these programs for people. So if you have questions about like what programs, you know, my mom should be on or something. It's like, well, ask us, like, what are your programs?
Yeah. And if I knew your mom's situation a little bit better, her fitness level, I mean, she could be in like killer shape and be like a former CrossFitter or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just, from the like description you gave me, it sounds like this is someone who's not accustomed to training. So I personally wouldn't recommend her to go straight into like Sean T's Insanity if she has no training experience. But Formula for Women is one I would definitely recommend.
But plus, Jessica also does custom plans as well.
I do. Mm-hmm.
So if your mom has issues with knee problems, or she doesn't have access to equipment, or she needs like 2 workouts a week as opposed to 4, that's where a custom program comes into play, and Jessica can create that for her.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Okay, Profit3 on Snapchat says, when I have a cheat meal, it makes me crave unclean foods. Should I stop having a cheat meal or just have them less often? I try to have it once a week, but a lot of times lately the meal turns into a binge. When I eat carbs, should I balance them between fruit and complex carbs or have more of one and less of the other?
All right, so this is a great question because it's cheat meals, treat meals, whatever you want to call them. It depends on people. Like it really does.
It depends on your personality type.
It depends on, and the mindset that you're going into this.
Mindset.
Me, fortunately, like I was, in my journey, I was so focused, so driven, and so disciplined on what I wanted to accomplish that I was able to have a cheat meal, and I knew it wouldn't spill over to the next day because I knew just by continuing, you know, rolling down that cheat meal, I wasn't going to accomplish my goal. Like I just knew that.
Yeah.
And so for me, that has never been a problem. Like I just have a mindset that like I'm focused. Other people, some people just don't have that. And it sounds like your issue is that you can actually allow this to spill over. So one cheat meal can lead to another and lead to another. And I've talked about this in the past. If that is you, then we kind of have to bring you back a little bit. Like,
and you know what? Work on your mindset and on your drive and on your reason why you want to live lean. Because I think that what happens when people have one cheat meal and then they can't stop, they just leads to a binge, is they've forgotten their reason why. It's like your mind gets all cloudy with all these like Doritos and cheese and hot dogs and whatever you're binging on. And you forget that what you really want in life is to lose fat and get lean and feel great and everything. And all that binge food that you're slamming down your throat is not helping you get any closer. And if you knew that, if you took a second to think about that, you would probably be less inclined to continue that binge.
Yeah, so like for instance, people often ask like cheat meal versus cheat day. So I typically say, if you're very lean, like you're lean, you're very insulin sensitive, so you process sugar very well.
You have a fast metabolism.
You could go a cheat day and probably be fine if you have that mindset that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
If not, stick to one cheat meal a week.
Right.
But if that's still, that one cheat meal still leading into the next day, then you're just gonna have to figure it out. Like maybe taper it back a little bit. Like if you're, I don't know what your cheat meals are, but maybe just like go half a cheat meal or whatever it may be. But for me, like I was saying, like I need to go all out on my cheat meal so I feel satisfied, and then I'm like, okay, I don't feel good after that, so I'm just gonna go right back at it. So if that's me, that would be my advice to you, is maybe just bring it back a little bit, maybe go a couple weeks without it and see how you feel. And then, I mean, what you could do is just don't schedule a cheat meal, and then when one arises, it arises.
Well, just making sure that it's not too often. But here's a tip for you guys. Like I've had clients do this before with me. They come back to me after like a couple of weeks on a custom coaching plan, and they say, this cheat meal thing just isn't working out for me. I can't stick to it. I can't get back on track, just like what you're saying. And so sometimes what I recommend is, okay, instead of having like one big giant sit down cheat meal, what if you just had like smaller treats throughout the week? So a peanut butter cup here and there, like a scoop of ice cream after dinner, like smaller treats that are going to keep you focused and not make you feel that like bleh, like nasty feeling.
That's a really good point. And then like kind of piggybacking on that, another thing you could do is you could try the IFYM approach.
Yes,
where,
absolutely. That works for a lot of people.
Where what you do, if you don't know what that is, you fit it into your macro. So
doesn't matter if it's healthy or not healthy, but it doesn't spill over.
It's not like you have clean eating all week and then on Saturday you have one cheat meal. It's like, figure out what your macros are, and if you can fit a Pop-Tart in there into your sugar requirements, then you fit it in there, and it's you can have one a day or whatever it is. Like it's not what we do.
That can be really hard though, because those type of foods are domino effect foods, is like what we call them, and it's like when you open a bag of chips, like good luck just having one serving. Like it's even hard for us to just stop at one serving of a food like that. So IFYM can work for certain personality types, but like we said, it all of this depends on you and what you're noticing with yourself. And it sounds like you're a person who's noticed cheat meal is not working for you. So I encourage you to try out different methods. Maybe sample IFYM. Try intermittent fasting. That can also be one that can help people, I think, because if you just have a certain window to get on all your calories in, I think that helps you, avoid like extra snacking or like eating, more amounts of food than you should. You'll feel more full in a smaller period of time. So there's different strategies you can try. But the question about carbs was, should I balance between fruit and complex carbs or have more of one and less than the other? I don't know if I understand this question.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. Like what I typically have is like sweet potatoes and fruit. So bananas, berries, that sort of thing. So I just kind of go back and forth. I think it's important to have both in your everyday eating. So,
but it's like you would mix, like in a post-workout shake, for example, banana with maple syrup. So I mean, it's not like you don't have to have them like separately, So I'm not really sure what that question is getting at, but I think you're fine to have a mix of both, if that answers your question.
Okay, next question on Snapchat from Bon Max says, "Hi Brad and Jess, thanks for all the amazing content you put out. My question is, what are your thoughts on activity trackers for helping judge how many calories you burn in a day?"
Okay. So this kind of goes back to the first question I think that we answered in this episode, which was about fluctuating your calories based on the burn. The daily burn. I prefer not to do it that way. I prefer to think of my weekly calorie burn. Like, am I normally working out 3 times or fewer per week, or 3 to 5 times per week, or more than 7 times per week? And that's how I would calculate my overall calorie burn and figure out my daily calories based on that activity factor. So that's kind of my stance on it. You guys probably have noticed from watching me on social media and stuff, I don't use an activity tracker in any of my workouts. I haven't for years. Yeah, he's going to give you a different answer, but I just want you guys to know Jess does not track her activity.
Brad does.
Brad does.
I love that we're talking in first person.
I know.
First person or third person?
Third person.
Third, I don't know. I do. Like, I have an activity tracker, and I love the idea.
It's a watch, right?
It's a watch, and I love the idea that I can put it on first thing in the morning, and when I go to bed or when I wake up the next day, I can just see. Like, I'm not over analytical about it.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not
like
obsessive on it.
obsessive
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. I'm just like, what ballpark am I actually
Yeah.
in?
It's more for like, curiosity.
And I really
purposes.
recommend out there, like I was saying earlier, like I'm in this for the long term. Like I don't need any gimmicks or any gadgets to like make me live healthy. Like I'm good. But people who are still in that transition phase, I really like. I got my mom an activity tracker, and she loves it, like because she counts her steps and she makes a game. She gamifies it. Like it's like, ooh, I didn't get my 10,000 steps today.
It's a competition between the two of them. She'll text him and be like, "I'm at 11,000."
Yeah, and I actually found that as well when I first got it. I was like, okay, one of my goals is just to get 10,000 steps. Like I want to make sure I'm at least getting 10,000 steps.
And just to see if you can, if it's possible with your normal life.
Yeah, and when I was living in LA, I wasn't walking as much because we drove everywhere. But now that I'm in downtown San Diego, I
now
walk
you're
like
crushing
I
that
crushed
goal,
10,000.
like, freaking every
but,
day.
but when I was in LA, it's like the end of the night, I'd look at my watch, I'm like, oh, I'm only at 8,000. I'd actually like, Bruno, let's go for a walk.
At night, he'd be like, I gotta go get my steps.
So if that's doing it for me, who's super experienced, super focused in this game, like what do you think that's going to do for someone who's just getting into it? Like it just gives them a number to go for and a goal to reach, and it's so quantifiable because it's like it's right there. So I highly recommend you guys get a fitness tracker. The link to the one that I have is down below, and it's simple. There's no chest strap needed. Like you just basically go and you're good.
I personally don't recommend it because I don't do it myself. To me, in my opinion, it's too much hassle. It's too much things for me, numbers for me to calculate every day. I'm already worried about all my clients' fitness levels and everything. And like he said, he doesn't need any gimmicky things. I don't feel like I need any gimmick things. I'm motivated whether I've got 10,000 steps or not. I'm still motivated.
Yeah. And it comes down to personality too. Like I'm just more analytical than you are.
Yeah, you definitely are. He's more in like detail oriented.
More of a numbers person.
Yeah, he like tracks all his lifts and everything. I don't track things. So, you just have to assess your personality and see what's a fit for you. HBOX on Snapchat says, hope you're both well. This is mainly a question for Jess. Sorry, Brad. How do you feel about contraceptive implantations, injections, or any of the available contraceptive in general? Majority of them say that one of the symptoms is weight gain. I was just curious as to what your thoughts were on them and if you ever found that it affect your progress to making those gains. I feel it's an inappropriate question to ask, but it's been on my mind. I asked the doctor about weight gain and she said it's because it will make you more hungry / crave food. I really didn't find that helpful, especially when my health is my number one priority, and any feedback or outlook on the subject would be very much appreciated. Okay, so I'll just give you kind of my history on contraceptives and the pill. I started using them in my early 20s, like around, I think, age 20 it was, and I only used them for about 2 years. The reason being, I did notice weight gain. I did notice bloating. I noticed extreme moodiness. I became that bitch girlfriend. Is it okay if I say the B word?
Of course.
Okay.
Bitch.
I just became a terrible girlfriend and not a fun person to be around. I even noticed it myself. I was like, I'm in a bad mood right now and I can't stop. Like it was an uncontrollable like mood swings I was noticing. Not to mention I was getting more breakouts. It was just like all the symptoms were just bad. And yeah, it was preventing pregnancy, but I wasn't willing to trade that to prevent pregnancy. I mean, condoms are better. So anyway, in short, my opinion on all contraceptives is
wrap it up,
no
kids.
go. No go. Yeah, wrap it up. I thought you meant wrap up the topic. Yes, I think there are better forms of preventing childbirth if that's not what you're ready for in life. I mean, abstinence is very effective, but also using a condom is great. And I don't think that your health is worth sacrificing just for that goal. So I don't recommend it. I haven't been on it for almost a decade now. I think 9 years since the last time I took it. I tried different ones like the patch, the pill, etc. All were bad for me. So there you go. How do you feel about that?
I got nothing.
I know a lot of guys encourage their women to take it because it's easier for the guy. But guys out there, do you really want your woman to like suffer? And really, you're going to be the one suffering when she's in a bad mood. So please, just take the extra second that it takes to protect yourself because it is the best way.
Spoken like a true mother. Okay, next question.
Wrap it up, boys.
Next question on Snapchat. There's no name here, so it says me, so I guess I wrote myself a question. So it's just kidding. Hey guys, I've never missed a post from you guys. I just want to say I weigh 170 and I'm 5'8" and I'm 16 years old. Okay, this is not for me. And my goal is to be fit, not skinny. I want to ask, is it true that if I do ab exercises that I will not lose weight? Instead, my tummy will just be the same and hard. Is it true? What do you guys recommend? Thank you both. I appreciate anything you have to say, and Kyla is really cute.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think you guys, if you never miss a post from us, you probably know what we recommend is not to just do ab exercises only, but to train your full body doing compound movements. I feel like a broken record saying this, right? But if you followed any of our programs, you'll see that they're not just ab exercises. Like in order to get lean and have shredded abs, you got to work your body from head to toe, especially your legs. There is a program for abs specifically, which is called LiveLeanTV.
LiveLeanTV. Direct ab training, but to get
it's supposed to be part of a program.
That's a plug-in, what we call. So that's like an addition to your other real strength training program. Because to get lean, to lose belly fat, you got to train your full body.
Absolutely. And also focus on your nutrition. And I know at 16, it's not as easy because you probably live at your parents' house. You're eating whatever's served to you. You don't have complete control of your diet just yet, but you will. So don't stress about things. Like I always tell teenagers who are 18 under, things get different. When you become an adult, you have full control over your workout habits, your diet habits, and everything is just way more in your control. So when you're under 18, just have fun, play sports, enjoy your youth.
I had this question from somebody today, actually, and it was the same kind of question was, I'm 16, my parents feed me crappy food, what am I supposed to do? My answer was just get more active. Roll with it because you're under their roof, but just get more active. So go out, like run around, play sports, you're 16, there's lots to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But, about the abs just getting harder but not changing the appearance, I think if you trained your abs at age 16, you probably would notice a little definition if you're lean, but it depends on how lean you are. So
if you got fat covering it, it's not going to do much.
Yeah. Okay, so Perla07 on Snapchat, you and Jess mentioned you don't eat corn. So why? Because I eat corn, and you guys made it sound like it's bad, LOL.
I don't personally eat corn because corn is actually in the grain family, and corn was just growing up. I just was never really a part of what I ever ate. So it's not like I ever just took it out of my diet. It's just not something that I ever had in. And for me anyway, there's just better forms of calories. I would rather just eat vegetables like green leafy vegetables, sweet potatoes, and that sort of thing. So it's, corn is not going to be the worst food you can eat. Yes, it is probably highly GMO'd and pesticides and all that stuff. And, farmers feed their cattle and their animals. What do they feed them?
Corn.
Why do they feed them corn and soy?
To fatten them up.
Because they want to sell more meat, right? So obviously, if that's the foods they're feeding their cattle
it helps the cows
fatten
get
them
enough
up,
calories and
there's something to that.
Starches,
So that's why.
It's really high in starches and sugars. So we prefer to have carbs from sources like sweet potato and fruits, etc. So corn is just not part of our menu. It's not that it's bad. There really is no such thing as a bad natural food. It's a natural food. So you can have it if you want to, but it's not on our grocery list. It's just not part of our diet.
If you have a choice between a Snickers bar and a corn on the cob, go with the corn on the cob.
You know what? Over a Snickers, I guess so. But the other thing about corn is it comes out the same way it goes in. Have you guys ever noticed that? When you take a number 2, you can see little intact corn pieces.
I love
not that I actually look at my
getting your hands in there and you're like, is that a corn niblet?
I don't touch it. And I don't really look at it for that long, but I'm just saying at times that I've eaten it, I'm like, Wait, did that not digest?
On that note,
All right.
that is another show, people. Thank you. That's number 49. We got some great things planned for episode number 50. They're going to be doing some giveaways.
1 week from now.
Yeah. And there's going to be something special going on for that show. So you guys are going to make sure you want to be tuned in for that. And yeah.
What was your favorite question of the show?
My favorite of this show?
Yeah.
I think it was probably the cheat meal question because I think people struggle with that.
Oh, really? Okay. My favorite was the contraceptive one because we got to like shake our parental fingers at you guys till you wrap it up.
Well, you did.
I did. That was my favorite question. So thank you guys so much for your involvement. Without your questions, the show would not be happening.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Question of the day to you is down in the comments below. We want you to get active. Tell us your age and your gender.
And maybe where are you from in the world? Like what state or country?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
But
interesting.
we prefer age, gender. I'm 36. I'm a man.
Oh, really? Are you sure? I am 31 and I'm female.
Okay.
Surprise.
Now that we clarified that, we're wrapping up the show, guys. Thanks for watching and keep
Living lean.
living lean. Shout out to all our Live Lean podcast listeners. We love you and would so appreciate it if you would give this podcast a review. We need your feedback to improve and grow. So please give us a review right now.